It is a disappointing start for NASA's multi-billion-dollar Artemis lunar mission. The US Space Agency has had to cancel today's moon rocket launch due to technical issues. Now, this is the scene at Cape Canaveral in Florida, where the rocket and its unmanned capsule are still sitting on the launch pad. Liftoff has been put on hold because of a temperature issue with one of the 4 engines. Earlier, fueling was paused when a potential leak was detected, and the weather has also been an issue, with thunderstorms causing delays. So another slot now has to be found for the launch of the Artemis test flight, and NASA's most ambitious moon mission in half a century.
NASA hopes this rocket will mark the start of a new era, venturing deeper into space, returning to the moon, and traveling to near-Earth asteroids. The US-built space launch system will get its first fully extraterrestrial test. Europe is responsible for the service module for the Orion spaceship. The module will supply the astronauts' capsule with air, power, and propulsion. Until now, NASA has only developed such mission-critical components in the US. The new rocket must be capable of handling crewed missions, so dummies have been used during testing. The figures measure exposure to lunar radiation and the effectiveness of spacesuits. Once in low orbit, the upper stage should set Orion on course for the moon. Some 4 days after launch, Orion should reach the moon. The European service module will fire its engines several times to set the spaceship into orbit.
The new data is 02134. Over.
Orion should then circle the moon for 6 days in an elliptical orbit. 20 days from launch, the spaceship will again fire its engines to return to Earth, first facing the challenge of re-entry into the atmosphere at 40,000 kilometers an hour. The heat shield will have to withstand temperatures of 2,400 degrees Celsius. Parachutes will open at 7 kilometers above the Earth's surface to slow the capsule for a controlled splashdown. If all goes to plan, the first astronauts will soon be taking off, destination Moon. The 3 Americans and 1 Canadian will circle the Earth's satellite, just like the crew of the Apollo 8 in December 1968. And the scheduled date for their historic mission? The summer of 2023.
And for more, we can speak to Rolf Densing, the Director of Operations at the European Space Agency, and he joins us from Darmstadt in Germany. Welcome to DW. Now, the build-up to launch hasn't quite gone to plan. How common is a delay, a cancellation like this?
Let's consider that a large number of things have to work at the same time. It's so complex that stuff like this can perfectly happen. So let's hope that on the backup launch date, which to the best of my knowledge will be the 2nd of September, this week Friday, let's hope that things go better. Let's hope that the weather is favorable, and let's hope that the little glitch that was observed today can be fixed until then. But this is now subject to investigations, post-scrub investigations that will have to be done. What is the extent of the issue that we have seen? And then I suppose in due time, NASA will announce the new launch date.
OK, now when it does eventually happen, hopefully, this test flight will take 6 weeks. What will happen on that flight in that time?
Well, this is a test flight for a human mission to the moon. Never ever before has a human-rated mission gone so far away from Earth. It will go to a distance up to 500,000 kilometers. So it will orbit around the moon a couple times. So life support systems will be thoroughly tested so to make sure that it's fit for human exploration, and also the flight path. So all the details will be thoroughly tested. Also, along with the mission will be a couple of small satellites, CubeSats, with all kinds of sensors. So they will fly to the moon, they will fly to low Earth orbit, they will fly even to an asteroid propelled with a solar sail. So it's a very, very complex mission design. And now imagine what are the limitations of the launch window. So today we had, for example, a 2-hour launch window, and it had to be today. And this is because they want to land during daytime back on Earth, and they don't want to land anywhere. They want to land off the coast of California, putting very tight constraints also on the launch window.
It's just an extraordinary complexity. Can I ask you, NASA is saying that the moon is a stepping stone, a testing ground for a mission to Mars. Can you explain to us, why is the moon so crucial in preparing for an eventual mission to Mars?
Well, I guess we have gained a lot of experience in the International Space Station of flying humans in space and around Earth. So the next level of complexity would be the moon. We have been there, humans have been there some decades ago, 50 some years ago. And so we need to learn again to fly to the moon, and flying to the Mars is a totally different story. This will not be a matter of days, this will be a matter of months to get there. And so let's also consider the moon is always close to us. It's always within, say, like some 300,000 kilometers, I would say, on average. Mars is much farther away. And to Mars, to begin with, you can only launch about every other years. And this is because of the relative constellation between Earth and Mars. So Mars, in a worst-case scenario, can be on the other side of the sun. So, it's very, very far away. And then there are constellations where Mars and Earth are very close. So putting tight limitations on travels to Mars, and therefore I think it would be well advised to try things out with the moon first.
Rolf Densing, we'll have to leave it there. Rolf Densing, Director of Operations at the European Space Agency. Thanks so much for speaking with us.
Thank you. Bye.